What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. We back in these streets. We back in these work streets. We got construction going on today. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on. So if you hear noise in the background, I apologize. This is the only way we can pop it off today. We got the dogs that work. We got the dog place, grooming place next door. So if you hear them jokers, I apologize, man. I had to do it here. Anyway, I'm gonna make this quick and easy. I'm basically here to talk about the Cowboys Philadelphia matchup that goes down Thursday night. It's finally here. Football. We're gonna see the Cowboys walk into Philly. They're gonna drop their little Super Bowl thing, and then let's get it. So my thoughts on this game, if you checked out the DC Universe on Sunday, you saw some of my thoughts about it Sunday night, where I said basically that this has to be a Dak Prescott game. I really don't trust the run game right now. I really don't know what's going on with this offensive line, if we're being totally honest with you. They didn't get any kind of reps with none of the first team. I didn't like that. I felt that they should get at least a couple. I get it. You don't want to show people, but, you know, like we were talking about on Sunday, you had open practices, so they saw things anyway. You said you were keeping it vanilla. Okay, cool. But I still feel like you needed that front line, that offensive line to get some cohesion. Yeah, they did it in the training camp, obviously, but it's different when you're going against your same guys all the time. You want to get some live action, get some other opponents to kind of get a feel where you at. But they coach in the NFL and I don't, so what do I know, right? So that's going to be a key to me. Obviously, the trenches on both sides of the ball, but how our offensive line goes against their defensive line is my key right now, because we haven't seen our offensive line. I don't know what's going to happen with Tyler Guyton. He had full practice. That's awesome, but I don't know if they're going to throw him out there, so we'll see who's going to be the starting left tackle. So that's what I'm really going to be looking at, how the offensive line works. Javonte Williams looks like he's going to be the starting running back. Looks like they got Jaden Blue as the second and Miles Sanders as the third. I hope Jaden Blue is activated for this game. He could be an X factor, even though he's a rookie, first game, jitters. Please don't fumble the ball. But we might need some of that juice in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? We might have some power with Javonte, but we need some of that juice from Jaden Blue. So hopefully they throw him maybe a screen pass, something. If he plays, hopefully he gets involved, because you're going to need that speed element out that backfield, because I don't know if this is going to be a real good running game for the Cowboys. As I said before, just to me has to be a Dak Prescott game. And this is what I said, that this feels like this might be, remember in 2020 when his season ended early with his foot, and then he came out in 2021 against a defending champ, Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa, and Dak went crazy. He threw 58 times, over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb both ate in that game. Both of them had over 100 yards receiving. I think this might be that type of game against the Eagles, where Dak just goes crazy, throws for 300 yards or more. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens both get 100 yards. I think Cavante Turpin needs to get involved in this heavily as well. Use that speed element. That's what I'm really saying. Got to use that speed element. Jaden Blue, Cavante Turpin, speed elements. Use those elements. Definitely go with Lamb. Definitely go with Pickens. But you need to use that speed element against these Eagles. So we got to be physical up front, especially on that offensive line. I'm a little worried about it because they haven't played together, and you're going against, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. They got a new guy on the outside in Ojimo. But they got some guys that they're suspect on. If you look at the defensive side, they lost some edges, right? They got new guys coming in the fold. I think Jahad Campbell is going to be the starter, the rookie. Nolan Smith Jr., they've been waiting for him to step up. He had a pretty decent Super Bowl, but he wasn't consistent the whole year. So I feel like those things can be attacked. Also, Kelly Ringo is their starting cornerback. Let's attack him. They also got Quinyon Mitchell. Let's go after him. You got that. You picked up Pickens for a reason. I know you want to establish the run. I get it. Let's see what happens. But I just feel like this might be a 40-50 pass game for Dak Prescott. And I just feel like this is going to be like that 2021 opening game against the Buccaneers at their house, Super Bowl champs, and Dak went crazy. I just feel like this is going to be the same type game. Could be totally different, but I feel like this might end up being a shootout. So that's why I'm saying on the offensive end. On the defensive end, obviously, Kenny Clark is in the fold. Everybody's waiting to see, right? What's this defense going to look like? I think Clenny Clark definitely upgrades that defensive line. You finally got a legit defensive tackle who likes to get upfield, who can take the double teams, who can blow up the double teams. And then you got Osa beside him, two UCLA guys. I think they'll work very well hand in hand. Marshawn Nealon, I'm glad he's starting. And you got Fowler on the other side, which you got Ezraku and Sam Williams backing him up. I like Ezraku coming off the bench because he can get some sneaky pressures and maybe some sneaky sack or two in this game. Maybe I said one and a half. Didn't look that great in the preseason, but when you're coming off the bench and you're just rushing the passer, some things might happen for you. Biggest thing here is Trevin Diggs had full participation in practice. He said 75% chance he plays, but if you're a full participation, I know they probably want to bring him in easy because he was not in training camp, so you don't want to just throw him out there and rush him. But that would really change the game. If you got him, Elam, and Bland, that makes you feel a lot better going against the A.J. Brown, the Devontae Smith, and then they just picked up Michie. John Meach, I believe, as well. So they got speed out there. So you would love to match that up, but I don't really know how much you can rely on the Trevin Diggs playing. So that's going to be a little look. How does that secondary play? I love to see a big game from Maris Leofau. I think Maris Leofau has a big game. I think Maris Leofau has like maybe a 10-tackle game. I think he's all over the place. I think he makes some plays. You got Kenneth Murray as well. I like the linebacking core. But we're really going to see what Kenny Clark that's going to be, because now those other guys in Toya and Mozzie Smith, now they can just play football. Now Mozzie may be a better player because you ain't got the pressure on him. He ain't the guy no more, and we ain't got to worry about that. So maybe he makes sneaky plays now, right? Because you ain't got no pressure on you because you can't handle pressure. So with that being said, I think it'll be maybe a slow game in the beginning, then it starts to unload, and then points start to come. I'm sorry. I would love for me to say the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are going to win. They definitely can win this game. But I'm gonna say they lose a close one, kind of like the Buccaneers, what was 32-29. They won in the last minute. I think this might be that type of game. Philly wins in the last minute. I hate to say it, but I just feel like Cowboys, they don't, first game. I really want to see how Brian Schottenheimer really coaches his first real game, how aggressive he is, and what does that play calling look like as far as the aggression. That's what I'm really looking at. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a 31-28 game, a 28-24 game, something around there. But I feel like Philly might pull this one out just because it's week one. I feel like the Cowboys just, they're trying to get their feet wet. I just feel like it's got a lot of things going against them. Can they upset the Philadelphia Eagles? They definitely can. They have the talent to do it. But I feel like this game one, it'll be tough. I just feel like crowd, especially if Cowboys get behind early, it's going to be tough for them. But I feel like they'll be competitive, but I just don't feel like they'll get the win this week one. I feel like it's, like I said, 31-28, 27-24, 24-21. But the Eagles don't win by much. But I feel like they pull this game out in the end. And then we on to week two with the Giants. So that's just kind of my thoughts on this game, how I feel about it, and what the result's going to be. And hopefully, the Cowboys go different and prove it wrong and pull out the week one victory. They definitely can, but I just don't feel like they will in this game. So that's my thoughts on it. Tell me how you feel about it, and talk to you soon. Big Game James, I'm out.